Hi folks, I'm here with one of my patients and he has a penile implant in place and he also has filler in place. Chris, say hi to the crew.
Hi everyone. Hi crew.
So I'm about to do a filler procedure on him today, but we figured while we're waiting for some of the numbing medicine to take effect, he wanted to share some of his personal experiences living with an implant and living with filler when it comes to some interactions he's had with some women.
He wanted to. I couldn't wait to do this. No, but anything that can help Amy and help anybody else, I think it's a good thing. So we're breaking down that barrier of being nervous and talking about things. So
when did you have your implant put in?
I had the implant about 2.5, 3 years ago. I want to say it's going to be 3 years in April. Actually, I had it put in.
Yeah. And you're dating.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. So how do you inflate the device when you're with a partner, and what have partners said about your device?
Well, because you have an implant, you're not getting this normal spontaneous erections that you would have when you were younger. But it's not really that tricky to work into getting the erection. You know, if you're out with somebody and you wind up coming home, you just simply excuse yourself to go to the restroom. You can inflate it in about 30 seconds or less. You get pretty comfortable and used to inflating it. And then you come out with a completely 100% hard erection. And a lot of times a girl will think, wow, that's great, that's exciting. If they don't know you have an implant. So it's quite actually easy to use and comfortable to use. After I got the implant, it made me feel actually a lot better because in the flaccid state, you could still have a decent size of your penis. You know, it doesn't have to be erect, but the implant itself takes up space. So it looks like you're dealing with a lot to somebody when you're flaccid, which is nice too. So you don't have to worry if you go to the gym or you're just with somebody. You wind up having a good amount of size in a flaccid state too. So that I enjoy.
So you don't necessarily tell your partners you have an implant in. You just go to a restroom, pump up your device, and it's like you don't have to tell them, which is great.
Yeah.
But sometimes they notice. Sometimes they ask, what might someone say?
I had one girlfriend who, let's say she was just exploring and she was just like, you have 3 balls. And I said, listen, I got a lot of balls in life. I said, so and we just laughed and kept going through it, but she didn't, you know, she was just like, why do you have 3 balls? You know, she said to me, yeah, it didn't cause any problem, didn't cause any issue, didn't cause any embarrassment or anything like that.
What else have you said?
Well, one time actually, I've gotten the filler injected, and now after the filler, you have to wear a sheath to help keep it in place. And I had taken a very nice Latina to the beach and was wearing shorts, and I was sitting there with just one of my knees bent up, and I wasn't aware that the sheath had fell out of my shorts. And this girl, I turned to look at her, the sheath on the penis. So this girl looked at me like she saw a ghost. Her face went flat, and she looked at me with a blank stare, and she goes, "What is that?" And I was like, I had a stent put in my penis, and this is the protective device. She goes, oh. I didn't think she believed me. But it didn't cause any issues for us. I just wasn't aware that it fell out because you need to wear the sheath as a protective wrapping for a little bit of time. But it's great. And other girls that I've had relationships or interaction with, I'd say 8 out of 10 are usually surprised and verbally say something when they see the size of the penis with the implant and the filler injection. You know, one girl said, "Oh my God, you have a log." Like she said, a log in my pants, because you get a lot of girth out of this, and it's rock hard, and you feel confident because you don't have to worry like, oh, am I going to go flaccid? Oh, I had something to drink. Am I going to be flaccid? Like, you just put it up and ready to go. And actually, sometimes if I'm really into the girl, like, I'll have it 2/3 to 3/4 of the way up or more at the very beginning of a date, and the girl's like, wow, you're excited to go out tonight. I'm like, I can't wait. And like, it's just a parrot. She's like, one girl said, I've never gone out with a girl gone out with a guy this excited to see me. She said after a while, But I do look, I have fun with it. I mean, you got it for a little bit, but I think you should get away about being nervous or stigmatism around it. I mean, we live in South Florida where we're at, and there's plenty of people walking around with cosmetic surgery done, or breast augmentations, which are incredibly common in that regard. So if they can get their breast augmented, why can't I get my penis augmented?
Mm-hmm.
And it benefits me as far as the confidence and look, and it benefits them because I have not had one complaint. I've had all people saying that it feels better
Mm-hmm.
because of the size of the girth of the penis stimulates them more, and it makes you appear to be like a great lover, but much better lover than I am. That makes me appear physically and sexually to be like a Don Juan, because you're stimulating them a lot, and a lot of guys don't have the girth you can get from the injections.
But you are a great lover.
I like to think, we all like to think we're great at certain things in life, so I talk myself up, but you can back it up better now. So, and look, obviously with the implant and stuff like that, you can have sex as long as you want, take little breaks, but you can go right back at it if you want. And the filler also does, in my opinion, increase the sensation and the stimulation. So it's been better as far as orgasming for me, and better stimulation for the girls I've been with, and my partners for that. They've enjoyed it a lot more. So yeah, I think it's a win-win. You just gotta come see the right doctor, like Dr. Amy, and I think you'd be really happy. It's a good return on your money.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing those very honest interactions.
Sure. No, it's my pleasure. If it can help somebody, it's all good. I know there's somebody who watches who's gonna say, I like that. Let me look into that a little bit. So sure, it's great.
Well, a lot of people have questions about how to introduce an implant when you're in a monogamous relationship or dating with an implant, and same thing with filler.
Right.
Yeah, I have some patients that say, I don't want my partner to know that I'm getting an implant or that I'm getting filler, and others that bring their partners with them and we have that discussion. So I think for every single person, there are people that are going to want to talk about it with their partner. Obviously, I would always encourage a discussion and open communication, but for some people, they just might not have that type of relationship where they're going to say something, and the reality is that is okay too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's very easy that if you have the implant or the filler, it's not like when you start to get intimate, somebody's going to go, hey, this isn't right. Like, it's nothing
Mm-hmm.
shocking. It's shocking. If it's anything, it's shocking in a positive way, because I've had comments of like, wow, you're really rock hard, or wow, your penis is really thick, or oh my God. One girl, I went out with, she called it a fat. Which, because she's like, wow, it's so fat, it's so thick. But it felt great to her, because it was thick and it really stimulated the walls of the vaginal canal for her, and she loved it. I mean, she said, you're going to get me addicted to the fat, she said. But anyway, again, see, you can take a serious topic and make it enjoyable and not be nervous about it. So, I encourage that if you have questions, to definitely seek out getting information. And even Amy said to me, she said, do you want your face? And I said, sure, it's all right. So we could, I think you need to talk about these things, and overall it's better for you. You'll have a better sex life, and you feel more confident in general. My confidence in general is just better off. You can use these things to a mental advantage and no longer look at them as a deficit for yourself. Mm-hmm. So win-win.
Now, I do have some men ask, what are the limitations of filler? And I would say the biggest limitation is going to be what the person wants their aesthetic to look like. Cosmetically, what do they want their penis to look like? So it depends on the head of the penis and the size of the head of the penis and the shaft of the penis, because we're not putting filler into the tip, we're just putting it into the shaft. So as you grow those filler columns along the shaft is going to become significantly larger than the tip, depending on how much filler you're putting in. So I have some guys that they've had a lot of filler put in, their shaft is significantly larger than the tip, and they know it doesn't look like a natural penis in the wild, but they are okay with it because it feels so good during sex. Whereas I have other guys that say, I don't want a single person to look at my penis and question whether or not I've had work done. So that's where there may be some more limitations in saying, okay, now that the shaft looks like this compared to the head, I think we're at our limit cosmetically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I've had a number of units put in, and you know, it's not really a concern. No one has said like, wow, this looks different or this looks odd or whatever. Like I said, majority of the comments have almost always been, wow, that's really thick. But everybody's pleasantly surprised, you know, because you're comparing to what people are used to.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, it makes you feel good and confident. And like I said, it really does stimulate them, and it stimulates you. So I think it's a great thing to do.
But let's talk a little bit about the limitations. Sometimes it feels very tight.
I think, yeah, I think
Mm-hmm.
part of it depends upon obviously your partner's size and whether your partner's had children. I mean, different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
If they've had children through the regular birth canal, obviously, or a number of children, you know, 2 or 3, that could play a role. Versus if you had somebody who did not have children or is extremely petite, you know, in that regard. But overall, I'd say 4 out of 5, it's not an issue of be like, wow, this feels too tight to get
Mm-hmm.
in. And a few that were tight eventually relax, for if you want to say
Mm-hmm.
term wise, and it became much easier. You know, it's just the initial getting in, or you know, when they got turned on through either lubrication or stimulation, that things relaxed, and none of it was an issue. I was never not able to have sex with somebody
Mm-hmm.
because of that.
But it is a really important point. I have some men that ask me, well, how much, you know, thicker should I get? What do you recommend? And I always encourage them to understand the partner's perspective. And because every partner, their anatomy is a little bit different. And especially when someone is not in a monogamous relationship and they're dating around, they're going to be with people that have different anatomy. And I don't want to size someone out of a potential opportunity. So it's always this working discussion with my patients in particular who are dating.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that overall the size, it looks a little intimidating, but it in no way inhibited the activities for us. So you know, I think it's a great thing to do again. And I'd be surprised if people overall didn't enjoy it on every aspect. And we have, like I said, it increases the stimulation for me, for my partner. They like the size of it, the look of it, the feel of it, and so it's a positive. Amy can't get rid of me. I keep showing up. I keep showing up like every 5 to 6 weeks. I'm like, all right, how about just a little bit more? So
now I do want to talk about some of your concerns.
Sure.
Because I think it's really important to have that honest conversation. And when we were chatting earlier today, you know, one of your concerns is, yeah, this certainly is a financial investment, and you're just kind of wondering, how long is your filler going to last? Now, because we're measuring your penis every time that I see you, I can see from your measurements you are maintaining the filler, and we continue to increase your size. But why don't you talk through some of your concerns about how long the filler may last?
Well, I met Amy, she said roughly about 1 year ago we started this. So I haven't lost any size with it, but in all honesty, now I've come down here 4 or 5 times over that year.
Mm-hmm.
We had the initial package that I did where I was getting up to 4 or 5 syringes at a time of filler put in, and now I come down for about 2, which is like tweaking, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't experienced any loss yet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm hoping not to. Obviously, I'm hoping I can get the most out of the filler. It can be expensive, in all honesty. It has to do a lot with the size of your penis and how big you want your penis, how much girth you want to add to it. I'm not so much concerned about the cost, even though that's part of it. I'm more concerned with, I'll be happy if I can get a length of time out of it. You know, like it lasts a certain amount longer. It's like, okay, it lasted this long, so it's okay, it's worth it. If it disappears very quickly, that would obviously make me more upset. But I do stay away from doing certain things, like I don't use a sauna, you know, jacuzzis, things that really heat up that area, which may increase the metabolism or breakdown of a possible product.
Yeah, and real quick, we don't know what the impact of a sauna and, you know, a hot tub is on filler. And so for people who just want to add some extra precautions, I think that's perfectly reasonable. Do I tell my patients to stay out of a sauna, stay out of a hot tub? No, I don't. But there are a lot of factors that impact the metabolism of filler, and it could be some of these things that we're discussing.
You just don't know. But again, I live down here in the Boca area, and I go out, I ride my bike, I go to the beach. Like, it doesn't stop me. Like, it's not like I have like, oh my God, I need to keep my my groin at 75 degrees Celsius or something here. Like, it's not that at all. It's that we're just not sure. It may have no effect at all. It may not enhance the breakdown at all. But so far I've kept all the size and the amount of filler. It could be a little bit expensive. Yeah, that's the truth. Your best bet is to find out when they run a little bit of a specials and you get a discount, which is great. And you could buy packages ahead or filler ahead, so you don't have to use it all. You could just keep it in the bank here, and they just will have it for 6 months or years, however much takes to use the filler. So you can certainly buy ahead, and they'll credit you when you're ready to use it.
Yeah, so let's touch a little bit on that. So we have packages in place. So when someone initially purchases a filler package, they can do a 4-unit, a 6-unit, a 10, and a 20-unit package. And then they get locked into whatever that rate is. So the larger the package that someone purchases, they get locked into a better rate per unit of filler. Then once you go through that package, you've purchased like 2 units here, 4 units there. And so you can purchase fewer units in the future, and you just get locked into that better rate. So that's kind of, how this works. And then Falfill, the company that I work with, will announce specials, a couple times a year. So Chris always takes advantage of those specials, and they never expire. I mean, the medication has an expiration date on it, but I just keep track of how many units someone has left, and then I order more filler as needed. So if someone purchases, let's say, a 20-unit package, uses 10, wants to save 10 for a later point, that is completely fine.
Yeah, and that's what I did. I pre-purchased some and then just didn't use them, and I just let her know, when I had an appointment that I was going to come down and do, 2 syringes or 2 units, whatever it may be, and it was just easy to do. So you have them at your disposal to use when you feel you want to, and it's best to get a package and get the discount. Every little bit counts.
Every
little bit counts in getting the penis fill. But it's a benefit. Look, I've been here, and I'll keep coming back. Yeah, I'm just curious to see how long it lasts. I don't know yet because it's been about 1 year, but I haven't lost anything, which is great. And
we do, I like that we do kind of like these maintenance sessions, and that's what a lot of my patients do. And that's also the challenge when people say, well, how long does the filler last? I have patients kind of come in randomly. I saw you about a little over a month ago, and prior to that, I saw you maybe like 6 weeks before that. And we just do kind of touch-ups each time. And so it's hard to say exactly how quickly you're metabolizing the filler when we're doing these regular sessions. I also have other patients that will see me every 6 months or, once a year, so it's a little bit different. So everyone really has their own protocol, but that's why it's challenging to know exactly how long that it lasts.
Yeah, I probably have seen you.
This is like our 7th session together.
Is it? Yeah, I've probably seen you over the last 4 months or so. I probably saw you 3 times in that 4 months. Now, only getting a syringe or 2 at a time, which is a small amount, but though it was more adding small amounts of girth I was going for. I went to Barcelona over New Year's, so I wanted to get a little bit for the trip. Why not? Get a little bit of girth for Europe, and then I was here 6 weeks ago. Well, they had a special, so I had to get a couple more. You know how people are with specials. You justify buying stuff, ladies know. So I bought a couple then, and I had 2 left from when they had a special, so I figured, why not get it, You never know. Might as well just take advantage of it now. So I'm not sure of the amount you need to come for maintenance yet. It could be just once every 6 months. It all depends, again, on the size of your penis, what you're going for, and how active maybe you are, things that can break it down. But it seems to last pretty good. It's lasting well for me.
Yeah.
I haven't lost anything yet.
And you work out a lot. And the thought too is maybe people who exercise more might eat up their filler. We think about facial filler too. They might get rid of their filler sooner. I mean, you work out 5 to 6 days a week and like aggressively.
Yeah. I mean, I'm at the gym 6 days a week.
Let's see, flex. Look at that.
At the gym. I'm 53 in March, ladies. So. no kids. Anyway, not long because she's gonna cut all this, so she's gonna smack me. And I just noticed that I noticed here that I'm half. Things I do. And, I willingly did this too. I love Amy. She's great, but I willingly did this for her. But what was the question?
So
I try to bike ride every single day. I jump rope. I hit the heavy bag. And I do the weights 5-6 days.
Okay, I have a question. How has your jump roping changed with the filler? Is there any impact there?
I tell you, the funniest thing is when you have to wear the sheath afterwards, and I told Amy this afterwards. You have to wear the sheath. Do they know what the sheath looks like?
The sleeve.
The sleeve. So you you wear this over your penis shaft to help keep the filler in place, and when I had shorts on, it looks like you're packing. I mean, I don't have to tell you, it looks like you got something going on down there. And I've had a few ladies at the gym give me an extra big smile and wink, that never smiled and winked at me, and I'm like, hey, so it's been funny.
But you're still able to jump rope fine with
yeah. And you could look if you want to wear a very baggy pair of shorts, or there's all different kind of shorts. I don't wear tight shorts or anything. I wear Under Armour shorts, Nike shorts that every guy wears. But if you want to wear cargo shorts or different type of material and stuff, I mean, it can be something that's hidden. You're not walking around looking like you got a ruler in your pants. But it can be noticeable because, again, I have an implant, so I have more girth, than somebody without an implant. The implant itself takes up size, and having the filler injected, and then the measurement is just about 7.8 inches long. So on a flaccid state, it still is 3 or 4 inches, maybe even 5 inches in a flaccid state. So it's you're okay. You're confident.
Yeah.
Well, you're confident walking around.
So what about traveling? Because you've done some international travel, and I do have some patients that will fly in for their filler procedure. They fly out right away, and so they get concerned about being stopped as they're going through security.
Yeah, I will tell you that I did take. That's all I can tell you is I did take that off and put it in my carry-on. I was like, I'm not going through that thing where they put your arms up, and the guy's like, what do you got down there? And he's like, I did go to the bathroom because a few times I was within the range when you need to wear the sleeve, and I was like, I don't want them.
But you haven't been stopped otherwise.
No, I haven't been. Yeah. I haven't been stopped and frisked in front of 150 people in a security line at an airport or anything like that because they think I'm packing heat. No, I haven't. Like I say, sometimes you get a little extra wink or stare from the ladies. But that's not a bad thing, that's not a bad thing, we all like to look. No harm in looking.
Yeah. You're funny, Chris. Now, the other thing that we were chatting about earlier today was the penis definitely looks different.
Yeah.
And it looks different, compared to when you didn't have any filler in, and you really liked the look of your penis before filler. So talk to us a little bit about just how your penis looks different with filler.
I had received comments that while you have a really nice penis or a nice looking penis or stuff like that, proportional, my gland or head size was good proportion to the length and shaft of the penis. I am circumcised, and based on Amy's measurements, it's about 7 3/4 length. So the overall was good. With the filler though, it does change the overall aesthetic look. But I haven't had any reactions like, oh my God, what is that? Or anything like that. You're getting a lot of filler in, so it does have a little bit different of a textured look than somebody who has absolutely nothing. But again, the majority of all the comments and feedback has immediately been like, wow, that's really big, or wow, that's really thick, or wow, you have a log, or your blah, 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 your penis is huge, or something like that. So it's been good feedback. The feedback a guy likes to hear, every guy wants to hear his penis is so big. I mean, who are we kidding? So it does change the overall look a little bit. I mean, if you do get filler put in, it's not going to look completely identical and just be wider, like it's under a microscope and just got fatter or something like that, but look the exact same. It will look a little different, and you do need to come in and you get the initial, I would say, base amount of filler put in, and then you come back for a little tweaking, where you put a little here, a little there to make it even and smooth and proportional. But again, it's not like it's a lot of work. It's not as cumbersome by any stretch. Any guy could do this. It's very basic rules to follow, and there's not a lot of rules with it. It's just basic things. And it didn't stop me from doing anything physically. The only thing you couldn't do is not have sex right afterwards. But like I went immediately to the gym. I go bike ride, like all that stuff. You could shower with the sleeve on. You could take the sleeve off and then put it back on. It's not really that hard to do. I mean, it's easy, and you're only wearing it for a few weeks at a time. So, yeah.
So a couple of just thoughts based on what you just said. I think it's important for people to know that the reason why I use a fellow protocol, we use Revenese Versa, is because we want to use a product that is reversible. So if someone says, okay, I want something even out and I'm happy with my girth, or I want you just to get rid of it, I don't like how it looks, which I haven't had any of my patients say I want you to get rid of my filler, but that is a possibility. We can get rid of the filler.
Yeah, you could dissolve it.
That's the good news, is we can dissolve it. And with the permanent options out there come potentially permanent consequences. So whenever I'm doing a procedure, cosmetic procedure on the penis, I love the fact that it is reversible.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I would be very careful about going to people who you really don't have the proper credentialing and promoting the proper product. I actually do anesthesia for cosmetic surgery down here, and we have seen some horrible things that people have injected into their bodies, into their butts, into different areas of their body, and it can cause necrosis, which is skin and tissue dying. So it's very serious. So make sure and this is a product that can be reversed if you wanted it. But again, like she said, she hasn't had anybody come back and want to reverse it. It's just, you're thinking out of the box. You're doing something different, but I think you'd be very happy with it, and I certainly am. I keep showing up every 6 weeks or so.
Get rid of it.
She's like, more? I'm like, just one more. No. I encourage you. I encourage you at least to explore it and learning more. Yeah. At a minimum, I think, and you don't have to have an implant to get this. You could be a regular guy who just wants some more girth in his penis, and you're going to get a lot of good compliments, and you're going to stimulate, I think, your partner really well. And it's increased stimulation for me because I can feel the sensations more because you're touching the cavity more and the walls more during sex. So it's a win.
Yeah.
It's a win product. Yep. Wish I thought of it.
Well, thank you, Chris, for sharing your stories.
Sure. Thanks for having me. And ladies, you can reach me through Amy if you want. No, okay. All right. This has been great. Thanks for everything. We'll do another episode in a few months.